Hello, and welcome to you helping me make a real anime training workout live. This is part two of Yusuke Urameshi's uh, training. We sort of decided that as a group in the last live stream, so we're going to do the second portion of it. We did climbing and his pulling workout. Today, we're going to work on his handstand and pressing workout. And this is sort of a branching off of the Yusuke, Genkai's training for Yusuke that we see in the anime, but we're trying to expound upon that and take what we know about how Yusuke moves and see what we can do to build a dark tournament training program. So we're focusing on handstands and pressing today. I'm going to go ahead and share um, this to Twitter so we can get some people in here. Give me just a second so you guys can help me make the next one. So we're going to go ahead and let's see here. Get the link, copy link address, paste. Come help us make a real anime training workout. Today is Yusuke's handstand and pressing workout. Cool. All right, we've got that in there. How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody today. Let's see here. So the last time, like I said, we focused on climbing and pulling, and I want to go ahead and show you what that workout looked like. You can see that here. We have an activation section, a strength section, and an endurance section. We'll probably follow a pretty similar setup for this training, but mostly we're going to be talking about exercise selection and how we're going to set that up. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and copy this. Put that here, and then we'll delete this, and delete this. So that gives us sort of a template to work around, and we can pick exercises from that point. So we'll go ahead and let everybody get into the chat here. I'll share this on Facebook too. Go ahead and share it on Facebook. I feel like they changed the setup for Facebook all the time, so I never know where anything is. Create post. There, and then we will get the link. Copy link address. And paste. Then I can delete it. Cool. And there we go. Cool. All right. So, make sure there's shadowboxing / kickboxing since Yusuke's big thing was brawling. Yeah, so on that note, if you'll take a look at what we did before, we sort of broke it up into multiple different sections or workouts. So we're going to do a combat training on another day. Today is handstand and pressing. So we've got a handstand and pressing today, combat training another time, conditioning another time, and leg training another time. So it's going to be a full program designed for, you know, the kinds of things that we would see Yusuke do to prepare for the dark tournament. So obviously we didn't see, you know, everything that he did in his little training montage with Genkai. So we're sort of, you know, expounding that on our own. So let's take a look at for exercise selection here. Is there anything that you guys would think would go in a handstand and pressing workout that would fit for Yusuke's the way he moves and the things that he does. Uh, there can totally be a fighting style video for Yusuke like there was for Goku and Vegeta. I've still got to finish the stuff with Vegeta first before we start going other places, and Baki's next in line before anybody else. So we'll go ahead, and obviously we've got some sort of handstand work, push-ups, or as Jack says, anime god makers. Let's see here. Kind of want to use this as a guideline because we want to make sure that we are doing things evenly. We'll say something to do. We'll say maybe bear crawl. And because that's something that feel like that would be the case. So we'll say my shoes not, you can't even see my shoes. Well, I mean, let me check anyway. No, they're not untied. All right, so we got handstand work, push-ups, bear crawls. Let's see, what's some sort of overhead movement that is not necessarily handstand push-ups because we need something to sort of work up to. So we can probably say maybe dumbbell overhead press or pike push-ups. If there's anything that you guys can think of in this that would be that you think would be useful, please throw it in the chat. Maybe some type of movement type push-ups like Spider-Man push-ups. Okay, Spider-Man push-ups. I could see that just because of the way that that Yusuke tends to land on the ground before, like when he's flipping out of something. I could see Spider-Man push-ups being a thing. So let's see here. Obviously, we're going to have various types of push-ups here to choose from. We have a basic push-up. We could have we're going to need to do a decline push-up just to get ready for handstands. Then let's see here. For the handstand work, it's going to need to be supported and then semi-supported and unsupported. We can work in pressing variations of those things. Let's see here. Clap push-ups. Okay, yeah, clap push-ups. I could see that for that explosive power, sort of like the spirit gun. Yeah, I could see that. That's a good idea. Clap push-ups. Planking and dragon flags. Okay, planking, dragon flags. Throw that in there. Yeah, pike push-up. Definitely would use that. So that would be more in the overhead. Yeah, we already did pike push-ups. Derp. Let's see here. Punching speed and power in the combat. Yeah. So I mean, you're gonna have something. They're gonna work in tandem with one another. There was a one time he was doing. Good point. We want to do some finger tip push-ups because he was doing handstands on a finger. But mind you, that's very, very difficult and not something that you should expect to do for a very long time, maybe ever. But we can use it as a means of inspiration for what we ought to do. So let's see here. All right, so things. Let's see. What do we want to do? So we could probably do scapular push-up. And then, let's see here. We'll do. Oh, we might maybe that. Hindu push-ups. Let's see. Was there a part where he was doing a balancing? Yeah, I think that I'm pretty sure that was the handstand on the needle using his spirit energy like to a point to be able to do that. Um, so yeah, that's part of the fingertip stuff that we're going to get into at some point. Let's see. We'll do a plank. If not for super long. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So previously we did in the activation section we had 25 mountain climbers, 20 steps farmer's carry, 10 scapular pull-ups, and 5 reps light grippers. So to activate everything we were doing, so we can start with something that's sort of a cardio, more cardio type thing, and then work our way to something a little less cardio. So we'll say move that here. 10. We'll go 20 seconds plank. And let's see here. Maybe do, yeah, there we go. 5. Maybe burpees, maybe not. Let's see here. Yeah, that might be in the leg. I mean, it might be in the conditioning workout too, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have. It's just an activation section, so we're just trying to get everything moving. Let's see. What do I want to do? We'll keep that open for now. And then we'll go down to the strength section and move from there. So we started with heavy pull-ups before. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start with handstand work, and then move into push-ups, following it, sort of like an accessory stuff. So because we're gonna treat the overhead stuff as more important on this one. So we're gonna say 3 sets of 2 minutes. This will be total. And then we can use the variations here of supported, semi-supported, and unsupported. And then, so that's working on those right there. So 3 sets of 2 minutes on handstands. But I probably want to, yeah, let's do, so if we can, which you may not be able to at the very beginning, so this will probably be one of those things where when you're able to do this section, then the next time you can start working on handstand push-ups. And that's going to be, we'll say, let's see what you guys are talking about. Probably some pull downs or pull-ups because he also did some rock climbing. Yeah, that was in the last workout. So we did, this is a handstand and pressing workout. The previous workout was a rock climbing and grip workout. So that's where you see that stuff in there. Activation, do some sort of dynamic stretch. You know what? That's probably not a bad idea. We're going to, instead of that, we're going to do 5 Spider-Man push-ups each side instead of the burpees. And then for yeah, we can probably get into some of that here in a minute. So the core section will be the bottom of the strength section. Um, let's see. We'll say handstand push-ups. See what you guys are talking about. Shoulder press. Yeah, yeah. So you know what? We will rename this overhead pressing. So we'll break that into dumbbell overhead press, and then move into yeah, that's a much better idea. So what we'll do is we'll start with dumbbell overhead press as a means to build the movement pattern um, for the handstand push-up. Then what we'll do is, as you get better, we'll move into handstand push-ups, followed by dumbbell overhead press. So that way you're getting the movement pattern with the handstand push-ups, and that's going to be supported handstand push-ups plus dumbbell overhead press. So you would do a set of handstand push-ups and then complete with dumbbell overhead press. And then that would allow you to get the full range of motion, because you're not getting the full range of motion with the handstand push-ups. Then we'll go to unsupported handstand push-ups, and then sort of break it down into, so we got unsupported, is that not, I don't know what I spelled, okay, unsupported, and then we'll go plus supported handstand push-up plus dumbbell overhead press. So that way we're working our way from a more difficult to less difficult movements as far as your balance and whatever are concerned, but we're still working on the overall range of motion. And then what we'll do is, let's see, yeah, we'll do this on next. So unsupported handstand push-ups plus supported handstand push-ups on blocks. And the idea here, I always have a hard time saying that for some reason. The idea here is to have the range of motion go all the way down to your shoulders, so that it would complete your the range of motion that you would normally do for the dumbbell overhead press. But that's going to be one of those things that is going to be, got a little bit of distance, a little bit more distance over time. So until you get to that point, it's going to be the dumbbell overhead press ending. Of course, you might want to do that anyway, just to get used to doing it. Now, we can also, at the very end, so we've got unsupported handstand push-up on blocks plus supported handstand push-ups on blocks, and then dumbbell overhead press. So that seems like a very complicated thing here, and that's something that we're going to have to break down a little bit in the at a later time, just because this is how we're working it out. So you know what? So this is a little easier to read. Let me do this. So we'll put that, put that down there. Cool. All right, so we've got like 5 levels of that. So we starting off with the overhead press just so that we have the full range of motion. Then we're working to a more difficult move with the handstand push-ups, and then still doing the dumbbell overhead press for the range of motion. And then we've got unsupported handstand push-ups, so we're working on balance. Then we are working on just making sure that we have the strength still, and then full range of motion. And then we've got unsupported handstand push-ups again, so we're working on balance. Then we've got supported handstand push-ups on blocks, so that means we're working strength and a greater range of motion. And then when you have the full range of motion, we'll move to the next section, which is unsupported handstand push-ups on blocks with that same full range of motion, and then moving to the supported to work a little bit more on the musculature without necessarily having to worry about the balance. And then we have dumbbell overhead press to finish us off. So what's going to happen as you get really good at it is you're going to have this, because your weight's not going to change. You might put a little bit of muscle on, but the weight thing's not going to change. So if you've mastered a whole bunch of stuff, the way that you're going to progress stuff is just having the overhead press continue to grow. So yeah, the bear crawls will probably put in endurance section. Let's see here. Let's see what I've been focused on that so much I haven't looked at the chat. Let me take a look at the chat here. A lot more core work to build strength and balance and stability. Maybe alternating dumbbell press. He's a very punchy fighter. Just came in with suggestions there. Great idea for a vid. What in the world? Oh, is it cutting out on us? Hopefully it's not doing that. Let me take a look. The streaming has not been so great for some reason, and I don't know why. Yeah, okay. It seems like it's still going, but it's giving me some sort of error. Let me know if you guys are still able to hear me. Okay, I don't know what's going on. I'm going to open that widget and see what's going on. Stream health. I don't know. I've got green on on OBS, but it's saying that the stream status is poor, and I'm not sure why. So let's take a look here. Okay, cool. All right, well, at least you guys can hear. So yeah, we got bear crawls. That's gonna come later. So that working on that overhead stuff, we're gonna primarily be focusing on that overhead stuff because that's what he worked on a lot. That's primarily more of what we see. And then what we're gonna do here, we have a probably take out this as handstand work. Yeah, okay. We'll keep the handstand work, just because that's what's going to help build us to do the second section. So at the very beginning of your training on this program, you'd be doing this section, just the dumbbell overhead press, and then in the handstand work, you would be focusing on holding this for a period of 2 minutes. That would be total. So you would start the clock, you would do it, and then if you had to rest, that's fine. You keep the clock running, and then you would go back up for the time. But when you were able to do 3 sets of 2 minutes total, then it would be time to start practicing a semi-supported. And the semi-supported would be you'd be supported, but then you'd occasionally like lift your feet, take your feet off the wall, and then hold it, and then go back, and then hold it, and then go back. And the idea would be as soon as when you did that for a period of time, you could start practicing unsupported handstands, which you would still keep the clock running. So 3 sets of 2 minutes total. And then you'd be, by the time that you're able to do 3 sets of 2 minutes holding a handstand, unsupported, you would ideally be able to do unsupported handstand push-ups because you've probably worked up to being able to do this section pretty well. And then, so this section would start to come about pretty easily from that point, if that makes sense. Christopher, what do you mean we're doing this all over? We're not changing the previous workout. This is part 2. We are doing, we're doing the handstand pressing version. So let's see here. So we've got that three sets of 2 minutes total. We'll go ahead and hit that supported, then moving up semi-supported, and then unsupported. We need to come up with a rep range for this, but I think we'll do that in a minute. Then we've got push-ups. We've got various types of push-ups, and I don't believe that we'll be spending a whole lot of time doing normal push-ups. We'll probably be doing things. Let's take a look here. So we've got decline push-ups, clap push-ups, fingertip push-ups, Hindu push-ups, and then we've got Spider-Man push-ups also. So we've got those variations. What we might do is work through them all, starting from easiest and moving to most difficult. So what we would say is maybe push-ups, and then decline push-ups, then let's see, we'll do actually be Hindus first. Hindu push-ups, decline push-ups. We'll do clapping push-ups, and then fingertip push-ups. And then we're going to decide the order here in just a second. The hardest workout on the whole site, maybe Baki's worldwide training menu, as that workout itself has a begins with an 18.5-mile run, which it's pretty insane. So don't attempt that. But let's see here: push-ups, Hindu push-ups, decline push-ups, clapping push-ups, fingertip push-ups. Then we've got, we'll say, core work, and then we've got planks, shoulder tap planks. Then we've got, probably one arm push-ups, because he was doing one arm handstands previously. And actually that would be unsupported, and then practicing one arm. I don't want to. You can't do too much, because if you put too much into one particular workout, you're not really going to get the desired physiological adaptation. You're going to get tired, and if that makes any sense, because if you overwork it, you're just going to be more tired. You're not necessarily going to get more of a strength adaptation that you want. We may put something like that in the endurance section. But so actually we may put that at the end. Hold, please. Let's see. Yeah, Baki definitely is the embodiment of no pain, no gain. Do I know Jack's Blade? Yes, I do know Jack's Blade. He is my student. A very long time ago, he read my blog, Real Anime Training, and started doing some of the workouts and asking me questions, and we've known each other ever since. I've met him a few times and had the opportunity to hang out with him. He's a really awesome dude, and he knows a lot. He's taken his own initiative to become an expert in fitness himself, as you probably know. All right. And let's see here. We're going to go ahead and so whenever you're making a workout, this is something that you're going to run into. You're going to have things that you want to include, and you're like, "Oh, this is great. This is fantastic. This is cool." But then you're going to realize, I have too many exercises. It's entirely possible to have too many exercises and do too much. So the difficult portion and the most important portion in designing the workout, apart from exercise selection as far as the exercises that are going to produce the desired effects that you want, is paring down exercises that are just sort of unnecessary. So that's probably one, because we've got a fair amount of exercises here. That's probably one of the things that we're going to end up doing here. So as a side note. All right. So obviously the push-up is good because we need a base for everything to work off of. Hindu push-ups is probably honestly overkill because we've got handstand stuff, so we're going to be working in that anyway. Decline push-ups can do something similar, so you'd have to do them on blocks, make sure that you can go all the way down, because if you're just doing a decline push-up on a flat with your hands on the ground, and your face is going to hit, and you're going to lose that range of motion. So you have to do, you have to be on blocks also. So we've got the decline push-ups to make that a little bit more difficult, but that's going to work into the pressing here. We've got one arm push-ups, but we don't want to do too much on the decline. Yeah, so we don't want to. We're actually going to get rid of the decline because we are doing a lot of overhead work already. So we're not going to go into that. The triceps are probably already going to be a little trashed, and so are the shoulders. And so your push-ups here are really just going to be supplementary things. So let's see. We're going to start with push-ups, and then we can move into clapping push-ups, and then could even do one arm push-ups and fingertip push-ups. So fingertip push-ups can be last because they don't require a lot of muscular activation for the chest, shoulders, and arms. What they'll have is you're going to be working the fingers, so you can actually throw them at the very end and still be fine. So even if you're only able to do like maybe 5 to 10 push-ups because you've wrecked everything else already, it's fine because you're not worried about how many push-ups you can do. You're worried about the weight on the fingers. And that's going to be one of those things where it's going to be wall fingertip and then incline fingertip and then finally being on the ground. So we're gonna go ahead and break that up. So we're going to have a lot of little things that we're looking at here. So we're going to boop, and then that, incline fingertip, and then normal fingertip. And you can see those are the individual challenging versions of the main exercise that we've listed there. So let's take a look and go ahead and do this. We'll get all this set up and then we'll decide exactly what we want to do. So we want to focus on, so what we're going to do here is we're going to have the one arm push-up be a variation of the normal push-up. So we're going to start with the normal push-up, and then we'll move into a one-arm push-up progression, which is sort of like an archer push-up, but not. I'll sort of explain that later. And then moving into one-arm push-ups. So we have different variations. So we're really only doing 3 different types of push-ups in a workout, and moving on to a higher level of push-up at a later time. So we've got the normal push-ups here for like the strength aspect of it. Then we've got the clapping push-ups for power, and then we've got the fingertip push-ups for the toughness of the fingers. So you can start to see that we're starting to pare down those exercise selections so it's not so overwhelming. Yeah, so it's actually, the live things should still be on the channel. When you go into the, to look at the channel, there should be an option that says videos and then an option that says live. At least I'm pretty sure that's how that operates. Let me double check it right now. I'm going to go ahead and open up the channel as an incognito and take a look ahead and go the anime trainer. my internet's not failing. That would suck. We're going to go to the channel. We're going to go to videos. And then we're going to go to... Yeah, so there's a breakdown here of on the channel. If you go to it, it says, when you go to videos, it says uploads. And you can go all videos, uploads, live now, or past live streams. And so past live streams will be there. And honestly, whenever we finish all of this stuff, these exercises will go into a couple of different playlists. So you'll be able to see all of this. And then eventually when I get to it, because I've got some other things sort of ahead of it, we'll actually make the real anime training workouts for these things already. So you'll have seen them in advance because you've helped create them, but we'll actually do the workouts at a later time. All right, so clapping, push-ups, and that's probably, you know, we're not going to have any variations on that one because any of the other stuff where you're like doing like clapping behind your back or clapping, you know, multiple times and all over the place, that's just sort of for show. We'll still do the clap push-up, but I want you guys to think about doing like, you know, getting higher up off the ground. So it's like a power push-up, but you know, I typically when I'm doing plyo push-ups, I don't clap. I just focus on driving off the ground. But clapping is one of those things that, you know, looks impressive. So we can say clapping push-up, plyo push-up, and it's like a full power plyo push-up. So those are the 3 exercises for the push-up section, and you would do all 3 of them. So by this point, things are pretty wrecked with chest, shoulders, and arms, so won't do any more of that. What we'll be looking at now is stuff for the core, stuff that's going to help us get better at the rest of this. So we're going to be looking at planks, so shoulder tap planks. Then we're going to be looking at dragon flags. So let's see, let me pull this open real quick and see. Oh, yep, sorry, I had the chat closed. Let's see, maybe some isometric holds, can't remember the technical term, maybe wall pushing. Guys, training is overkill. Let's see. Hey, I'm glad that you're here from Chile. Is it just me? But he sounds really quiet. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Am I quiet? Just I don't want to make sure that everybody can hear me now that I'm like 40 minutes into the video. Let's see here. Try to climb a tree. Well, that one's for the climbing portion. Let's see here. Side crunches. Okay, everybody says it sounds fine. Dragon flags are killer. Maybe start. What is a good start to the dragon flag? Yeah, so what we can do, so we'll break these things up, obviously, like the way that we did before. So we've got a plank section, and then the plank shoulder taps are actually going to be like a variation of the plank, so we'll put that there. We gotta... Will that go that way? Can I change that? Come on. How do I get that to work? Okay. All right, we're gonna do this first before we do that. We're going to put that there. We'll say dragon flag section. We'll say plank section. Twist section. Yeah, hold on, give me a second. I'll search it up for you real quick. Yeah, I don't think the Fist of North Star workout is on. It might be on the list, but if it's not, we'll have to put it there. Explore, workout by series. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll have to do that because it's not there. That's fine. We're gonna say Fist of the North Star, real anime training. Yep, so we'll go copy link address and throw this in the chat for you. There's that one. And we'll do that one. So there's two of them, two Fist North Star workouts. Um, one of them's for a bad guy. So um, the only Kenshiro workout we have is the handstand and figure training um, workout. So uh, yeah. So hold on one second. Sit-ups good for core and handstand help would. So okay, so sit-ups are a little bit different because sit-ups are working the top layer of the abdominals, which is your rectus abdominis, and that is used for flexion of the trunk, so that curling motion that the trunk does. So it's good for power generation and protection, obviously, but it's not as much of a bracing muscle. That would be the deep muscle, which is the transverse abdominis. So that's what's going to be used in planking and the dragon flag and holding the handstand is that activation of the transverse abdominis. Uh, so sled pushing would probably go in the leg day or the conditioning day. All right, let's see here. And let's see. And the last time we did one of these, which was just a few days ago, you guys said that you really enjoyed it. If you guys enjoy seeing, making these workouts live, let me know, and it may be something that we do on the regular basis. Just um, throwing that out there. I want to make sure that we're doing stuff that you guys enjoy. And this is also kind of fun too, to try to show you guys what my thought processes are when I design a workout. All right, so we got plank section, dragon flag section, twist section. So we also want to do like a back section. And yeah, that works. Okay, cool. So what we'll do here is we've got planks, and then I'm going to go ahead and do all of that so we have the build up. So once again, underneath each one of these sections, it's going to be the things that are more difficult, things that you're building up to. So we're going to go plank, side plank, so you don't want to forget that. And then we'll go feet, elevated, spelling, elevated plank or side plank. And that's going to be something where because when you're holding the plank, your feet are on the ground also, so it's sort of like you're not in a straight line, is rather being perpendicular to gravity completely. So what you would do to make that more difficult, first thing would be to raise your feet up so that you are in a perfectly parallel. You're perfectly parallel with the ground, and that would make that more difficult. And we can do like a feet. We could do a unstable plank, side plank. So that would be something like a on a Bosu or a stability ball, something like that. Just to give you guys an idea. So that's that, and then we will do the dragon flag section. So we're going to do leg raises. So lying leg raises, because they won't tell the truth. Then we've got, we'll do hanging leg raises just to get more strength involved in it. Then we'll do, let's see, what do we want to do? You know what? We're just going to stay on the ground. we're going to stay on the ground because that's where all the movements are. So we'll do leg raise. So lying, leg raise to hip raise. So that helps. And then we'll do, let's see. Okay, twisting leg raises. Yeah, we could just, that's going to be more like a twisting section. We're really trying to focus on building the dragon flag right there. Let's see. Okay, and then we're going to go lying leg raise to shoulder stand. So that's what would get to the top of that movement. And then we'll say and then to work on the abs a little bit more, we're going to do hanging leg raise and then lying leg raise to shoulder stand. So you're going to do one and then get off the bar and do the other. So we're working a little bit more. And then we're going to do this is kind of building it in stages. So you'll do toes to bar, lying leg raise to shoulder stand. And then something I like to call crazy legs, which I'll explain more later. And then lying leg raise to shoulder stand. And then we'll do crazy legs to lever, and then plus lying leg raise to shoulder stand. And by that point, you probably have already gotten strong enough to do the dragon flag, but you're definitely strong enough to do the dragon flag at this point. V-sits aren't really explosive. You're just holding a position. Yeah. Yeah, how to hollow body hold is good too. We may take a different. There's probably many different routes to get to that point. This is the route that I took to get to dragon flags. So that's why I'm doing it. There may be a more efficient route to get to the dragon flag, that may change, or because that's obviously a lot of steps to get to that point. But let's talk about the twist section right here. So we're going to go Russian twist. And honestly, we're probably not going to do anything else. So Russian twist is probably just going to be it. And you can increase the difficulty by using a weight to go with it. And that'll help sort of like be in that, because the Russian twist is going to be sort of similar to holding like that V-sit, but you're moving, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Let me see here. Dish tuck. I actually don't know what that is. How often do I post these on the site? So the site, I don't post as much as I used to. I mostly focus on YouTube at the moment. But I definitely need to do some overhauling for the site because there's definitely some workouts that I have that aren't in the overall workout list. So that's definitely something I need to do. And we'll say right here, we're going to go Superman, lift, and hold. Then we'll do good morning plus reverse. Oh, because we'll say hyper extensions plus reverse hypers. And then, yeah, let's see, what are we talking about here? Hollow body hold position, and then pull your legs in and extend them out. Yeah, that would be a good, like a good position when you're at the bottom. But then we've got the whole controlling on the way down that we've got to worry about. Which that's what the crazy legs are for. So essentially on the crazy legs, you do a hanging leg raise, and then in the process of doing the hanging leg raise, you shoot your hips up so that you're completely vertical, and then as you're at the top, you hold that vertical position and then lower yourself back down to where you are parallel to the ground. So you are completely flat. So it's sort of a way to get into that lever position if you're not used to doing like levers on the bar. Oh, yep, that's actually not bad. So we can do that may be something we may do that instead. Hyperextensions, reverse hyperextensions. Yeah, we may want to do something that doesn't require too much equipment. So we might say glute, bridge, Superman, lift, and hold. Then we'll do gymnastic, bridge to build that up. And then we can work into single arm gymnastic bridge, which you will be completely wrecked by this point, so I don't imagine there will be too much of that. We'll just hold those for time. All right, so we've got a lot going on here, and it seems like a lot more than it is, but what you'd essentially be running into is one of these sections, so you'd be at a certain point to be able to do one of these sections, and then one of these, and then one of each of these, and then one of each of these. So these are really just the progressions that we have, so it looks way more difficult than it actually is because we're not actually doing all of these in a single workout. This is just sort of like what we're looking at here. So for the endurance section, we're going to do probably bear crawls, so staying on the hands the whole time, and that's something that we can do at a distance. So when we did climbing before, it was 20 minutes, and then EMOM pull-ups. But we've already done, let's see here, quite a bit here. And everybody can do bear crawls. Everybody's got the area for it. We can do bear crawls and crab walk. Let's see here, and then dragon crawl. And let's see what else. What else do we want to do? And then handstand. Walk. And then our goal here would be to, since it's an endurance section, our goal would be to go for a certain amount of time. And let's see. Yeah, so we'll say so AMRAP in 20 minutes. Keep it simple. We'll go 50-meter bear crawl, 50-meter. It might be too much. 50 meters might be too much. We'll say 25, so we can actually get through them. And then we're just going to do a 10-meter hand walk, because walking that long on your hands is a long way. And then that gets you through all of those movements. So let's kind of go back and yeah. So I mean, the neck bridges. There's a lot of risk that is involved in that. There's other stuff that you can do that has less risk that you should probably do. But I mean, if you feel comfortable doing neck bridges over a long, if you've been training for a long period of time and you feel comfortable doing it, I'm not going to tell you not to do it. But there's a growing body of research that would say that there's better ways to train the neck. Let's see. And we've got to figure out exactly how we want to structure these exercises, because we've got all of the reps here. So we want to do something similar here. So let's start with dumbbell overhead press. We're going to do 5 sets of 5 reps. So we're going to be focusing on some more strength. Then we're going to do for the handstand, supported handstand push-ups, and that's going to stay the same across the board. So supported handstand push-ups, when you can get to, let's say, 3 sets of 10 supported handstand push-ups, and then we'll do 5 sets of 5 dumbbell overhead press. So that's where we're getting there. And then when you get to that point, we can do, it's going to be 3 sets of 10. So we'll say 3 sets. Let's take a look here, because we want to have whatever's going to thing that's going to help us push to the next stage. So at the very beginning, obviously, you're not going to be able to do 3 sets of 10 supported handstand push-ups. That's the goal. When you get there, then it's time to move to the next phase. So our goal is going to be continuously at that 3 sets of 10. But you're not going to be able to get that right off the bat when you walk into that section. So yeah, 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 10. That's the goal. If, with our supported following the unsupported, that would be, you wouldn't be able to do quite as much. So our goal here would, on the supported version, would just be to try to do as many as you can. Because you're not going to, because after 3 sets of 10 on the unsupported, or 3 sets of 5 or whatever else, this is going to suffer, and that's fine, because this is really, at this point, the supported handstand push-ups is a tool to help you get better at this one. So these are the numbers that matter. And then the dumbbell overhead press is the same. So it would be, if you were trying to do, when you hit 5 sets of 5 on, let's say you're doing 45 pounds for 5 sets of 5 on dumbbell overhead press, then you would obviously want to try to go up. But if you're not hitting that 5 sets of 5, then you wouldn't. But it's going to be more difficult for you to hit that same weight all the time, or to go up all the time when you're doing this first. So this is going to grow slowly. Then we've got same thing here, unsupported on blocks. So you get the general idea. That's the goal every time. Well, that's the goal every time, and then you use these as support to try to get you to the next level when you're not at that goal. Yeah, so the deep breathing and meditation is definitely something that you might do something in maybe the combat workout. Um, and then we've got already got this 3 sets of 2 minutes total, and that's to help you get used to being in that handstand position. At the very beginning of any sort of handstand training, you're always going to feel a little weird because your body has to get used to being upside down. But that's once you get get the hang of it, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Then we've got normal push-ups, and then one arm push-up progressions, and then one arm push-ups. So let's think here. What do we want to do? Let's try. We're gonna do. We'll start with 3 sets of 15 normal push-up. Yeah, so 3 sets of 15 starting off, just because you're already going to be sort of broken down from here. And then your goal is to build in repetitions. So when you can do 3 sets of, we'll say, I want to be safe with it. I don't want to do too much as far as like making that. Do we want to do? So I've got to make a decision. Do I want to try to focus on making it more difficult, or do I want to try to build up the endurance portion of it so that you are used to the movement? Let's see. Yeah, frog stand is pretty difficult. Yeah, well, I mean, it's 19 likes, but 10 are watching right now, or 13's watching right now. So, I mean, people come and go. There's people aren't hanging out the whole time. Let's see. We are going to do. We'll do. Because obviously when we get here, we don't, there's going to be a limit to, because the one arm push-up is a thing that the only way that you'd be able to increase the difficulty at that point would be to either do like an incline version or do a decline version or do a weighted version. So we don't necessarily need to worry about a rep goal here. Let's see. So if we're just going for strength, we're going to do. All right, we're going to start with 3 sets of 15 on the push-up. And then we are going to build. Yes, that's okay. One set of max push-ups, followed by 3 sets of 15 at a slow tempo. So we're going to say 2. Yeah. We'll say 3 counts down, 3 counts up. So it's fine if you can't do it at the very beginning. This is going to help you get used to being in that position. And the 3 sets of 15. If you can't do it at that, you know what? We'll start this at 1 countdown. we'll slow the tempo as we go. So decrease tempo as you improve. So you're going to do 1 maximum set of push-ups, and then you're going to do 3 sets of 15 push-ups with the tempo increasing instead, like decreasing in speed instead of you doing more repetitions. So at the beginning it might be one count down, 1 count up, and then as you get better it's going to be 2 counts down, 2 counts up, and then 3 counts down, 3 counts up, and then eventually you're going to be spending more time. So it's like time under tension sort of thing. We're not necessarily worrying about you cracking out, 50 reps or anything like that on those additional sets. Then for the 1-arm push-up progression, what we'll do is one set of max reps, which I'll have to explain what the 1-arm push-up progressions are, but it's pretty simple. You are in a normal push-up position, you do the push-up, and then you reach out your hand a little bit to about halfway of full extension out. So if you put your arm out all the way to the side, that would be your 3rd position. So you go, first position's normal push-up, second position is halfway in between your 3rd position and the 1st position, and then the 3rd position is the hand all the way extended, fingers lightly touching the ground. So you're sort of in an archer push-up position, and so that final rep is almost all of the weight is on 1 arm. So you're going to do 1 set of max reps of the 1-arm push-up progression, which it goes 1, 2, 3, put it back in, 1, 2, 3, and then that is 1 rep. So basically one rep of a 1-arm push-up progression is 6 total push-ups of varying difficulties. And then we'll move into, it's good to have you in here, Christopher. Take care. Let's see, and then we'll do one set of max push-ups, 1 set of max regular push-ups, and then do the tempo, 3 sets of 15 tempo. And then we've got 1-arm push-ups. And then the goal with the 1-arm push-up is to have both of your feet together while doing the push-up. So you may have to start with your feet a little bit wider, but you want to try to make sure that the shoulder is not collapsing. So you're not like, you're flat just like you would have being a normal push-up with both hands on the ground, but you've only got 1 hand on the ground. So that's going to be one of those things where you work your feet in a little bit at a time, narrowing that base. So we'll say 1 set of max 1-arm push-ups, and then you're going to be decreasing, so we're going to be narrowing feet over time, and then 1 set max progressions, and then 1 set push-ups. That's 1 set max push-ups, and 1, and then 3 sets of 15 slow tempo. And that gets us to the 1-arm push-up. And then you're not spending, a ridiculous amount of time in that. So once you're able to do your feet completely together, then at that point you would be focusing on trying to do mainly just when you got perfect form, you can just do a 1-arm push-up by itself for multiple sets. So we say 1-arm push-up plus, and that would be perfect form. You can do multiple sets, tempo, add weight, whatever. That's something that I'll probably decide at a later time. But the basic idea is at that point you're pretty much a master at the one arm push up, so you can do other things at that time. And then we've got clapping plyo push ups. We're just going to do we'll do 5 sets of 3, and that's just going to be because you're not doing the clapping push-ups for like, oh, I did 100 clapping push-ups, because there's no point to that. The goal with the clapping push-ups is to try to generate power. So we're going to do that with just 5 sets of 3. So that's going to allow you to be able to do the explosive movement 3 times and then recover and then do it again. And that'll help build that. So at this point, you're probably pretty tired, and then you end up with the fingertip push-ups, and we're just going to do so we'll do, the walls are going to be super easy at the very beginning. So we're going to do 5, let's see. Yeah, we'll do 3 sets of max wall fingertip, and when you can do 50, it's time to move the incline down. So what you would do is you would do them on like an incline board or on some steps where your head is higher than your feet or something like that, so that you're able to use more of your body weight. So we'll say 3 sets of max incline fingertips, and then I'm not going to make you do 50. When you can do 30 of those, you can start working it down the incline, and then we'll do 3 sets of max normal fingertip push-ups. And then when you start feeling comfortable with that, you may play with doing less fingers. So that would be something like when you get to 30. And then with the core section for the planks, like we're probably already pretty tired after this point, so we're going to do we'll do 3 sets, and then we're going to start at a particular let's see, everybody's talking, so I'm just trying to read what everybody's doing so I don't get too far behind. Yeah, well, I mean, you can't run for distance at a sprint speed. And the reason you can't do that is because sprint is not a particular speed. It's a level of intensity, and those level of intensities correspond to energy systems in the body, and those energy systems are only utilized for a period of time. So if you're running for 4 days straight, that's not the energy system that you would, like your creatine phosphate system, that you would be using for power, and it's not your it would be more of your oxidative pathway. So it would be a completely different. So you're not actually, it's literally impossible to sprint for 4 days or for 3 minutes or whatever, because that's not a sprint anymore, because a sprint would be defined as something as a level of intensity for a certain period of time. So something that would be like 10 to 15 seconds. All right. And so this is actually a pretty long one here, so we're not going to get too crazy. We're going to drop that. And we're getting into the overhead pressing. So I'm trying to think how long this workout would actually be. Yeah, so we're going to say 2 sets, and then 2 sets, and then 2 sets. So that limits us there. So then we've got the overhead press. So that's 10 sets there, 8 sets. I'm just trying to not do too much because, like I said, it is very, very difficult. Like, it's very easy to start doing that at a long, doing too much. Um, yeah, so we would probably, once we're able to do um, unsupported handstand push-ups, we'd probably just cut this entirely. So this is like only until able to do unsupported handstand push-ups. And then that's so yeah. So as you got better at this, those sets would drop off entirely, which means that as these sets increased, as the number of sets increased here, that would take the place of this one, so that would be less time spent there. So it's at the very, very on number 3 here, we've got one set there, one set there, one set there. So that's 6 total sets. And then we've got, so even if we did all of that, it would be 10, 13, and then 19, 22. Yeah, it's starting to get a little crazy. Little crazy. You see, as you start to get into this, it gets you have to really start thinking about, what you're trying to do. So there may be things that we have to cut out. Let's see. You know what? We're not going to do fingertip push-ups at all. Instead, we're going to do fingertip planks. And the reason we're going to do fingertip planks is because we're already going to be a little tired. Core's probably going to be a little wrecked already. And so your limiting factor on those planks is going to be, can your hands hold you? And as you get better at it, you'll be able to hold the plank for a longer period of time. So that cuts out those repetitions and saves us some time. And then we can do fingertip, feet elevated plank, and then fingertip unstable. So that we're able to collapse that into something else because we're just trying to work on some additional, planking stuff, but also want to train the fingers. So that's going to be just you probably start something easy. You want to make sure that your hands stay nice and solid and that it's not collapsing too much. So that's going to be, I don't want to give a particular prescription for that time because at that point we'll start to, I don't want you guys to sacrifice form to try to get a time. But I do need to let you know when it's time to move up to the next section. So I would say if you can hold, so we'll do 1 minute total. And if you can hold the whole time after all of that you've done so far, if you can hold a plank for 1 minute total on your fingertips, then you can move up to the next section. So once again, 1 minute total, because at the very beginning you may end up doing like 6 sets of 10 seconds. Well, I guess it's total, so the clock is running. So you may end up doing like 3 sets of 10 seconds with 10 seconds rest in between, and that's going to be all you can handle. And then maybe you're working into 2 sets of 15 seconds, and then 1 set of 5 seconds before your time is up. So that allows us to limit our time being spent training, but still working on that stuff. And then let's see here, we got the dragon flag section. So we want to do, we'll do 3 sets of 10. And we'll do yeah, so yeah, you know what, that we will stick with this. We'll do 3 sets of 10 period. Yeah, I'll have to write that there. 3 sets of 10. And then that's going to be the same for that. And then we've got the hanging leg raise and then lying leg raise to shoulder stand. So we'll do do 2 sets of 10 and then 2 sets of 10. So we're not overdoing it with the number of sets. We've only added 1 more set. Then we've got toes to bar. We'll go 2 sets of 10. And that's the strict toes to bar, not the swinging yourself toes to bar. Lying leg raise to shoulder stand. Yeah, we'll do 2 sets of 10 again. And then we'll do crazy legs. We'll do 2 sets of 10. And then 2 sets of 10. And then 2 sets of 10 there. And 2 sets of 10. And then we'll end with the dragon flag. We'll do 3 to 4 sets of 10. So that allows you to be, we're only doing a maximum of 4 sets at any point during the dragon flag section. And then Russian twists, we're just going to do 2 sets of 20. And then we're going to do Superman lift and hold. We'll do, no, we'll just do 1 minute total. And then we'll try this. We'll do 1 minute total each. And then that should build enough to be able to do, we'll start with this. We'll do 1 minute total. And then single arm gymnastic bridge, working to 1 minute total each side. And then we've got this endurance section, which is going to be pretty brutal. Honestly, we may not even need an endurance section with all the stuff that's going on here. And that's perfectly fine because there's a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, crazy legs are like a combination of a hanging leg raise and a hip raise, like a lying hip raise. So kind of talked about that a little bit ago. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Yeah. When sprinting is definitely not about like how fast you feel like you're right, because you can do an all-out run for a mile, but that all-out is not going to be a sprint. It's going to be all-out for that distance for your fitness level. So it's going to be whatever that energy system is capable of doing, and you may not be able to, an all-out mile might look like I'm, jogging at 4 miles an hour, or it might look like I'm, running a 4-minute mile. But both of those things are all out for those individual people, but they're not a sprint, because sprint is about time, 10 to 15 seconds. That's the energy system it's working in. But yeah, so let's see here. I'm trying to figure out exactly how long this workout would be. That's going to take about 3 minutes. It's going to take about 10 minutes. That's with that additional. That's going to take about 15 minutes. Then that's going to be 3 minutes, 15 minutes. That's 18. We'll say that's 20 minutes. So it's 20 minutes here. 3 minutes here is 23 minutes. And then maximum, we'll say 25 to 30 minutes here. So 33 minutes, and then handstand work would be 6, 9 because we have the rest periods. So it's about 42 minutes, and then one set of max push-ups. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many sets is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 6 sets. So that's 12. So we're talking about 54 minutes. And then this section is literally just 1 minute long. So that's 56 or 55. And then this section is going to be 3, 6. So it's about a little bit more than an hour. And then we're talking about hour 6. And then an hour 7. So all in all, this work is an hour and a half. About an hour and a half. So that's where we're looking at here. This being about an hour and a half long, which is pretty crazy if you're not used to training. Now, mind you, at the very beginning, this is all you've got, and this is all you've got. So this is 10 minutes long, about, and so that's 13 minutes, and that's 21, 24, and then 32 minutes, 33, 45, and then 3 sets of 10 there, so that's 6 minutes, 51. Yeah, so at the very beginning, it's maybe an hour and 10 minutes, and then at the end, it's like an hour and a half or so. So it would be perfectly acceptable if you were completely wrecked to cut this, because this is going to do much if you're already dead. So that may be something that you work in at a later time when you're getting used to doing it. But yeah, that's basically what we're looking at here. And so you would do this basically 1 day a week, because it would be in the list of all this other stuff here. So you would do you'd have the climbing and grip day, you have the handstand and pressing day, combat day, conditioning day, leg training day, and that's 5 days of training. And then you'd probably want to take 1 or 2 days off, especially at the beginning. And even at the very beginning, you may cut some of this stuff in half, because this is just a general workout, and it's not taking into account who you are or where you're at in your journey. So don't take this as some sort of like, this is exactly what I have to do because this was written specifically for me, because no, it wasn't. It definitely was not. Take this as in passing, just because this general idea is a workout that's set up to try to mimic the ideas that would be present in Yusuke's training with Genkai. But that is about it. We've got the activation section, which is a little shorter than the other activation section. We've got our overhead pressing. We've got some additional handstand work, which honestly may or may not be collapsed into the core work section, or maybe just gotten rid of altogether. Haven't really decided yet, but it's there at least for now. Then the push-up stuff to get some chest and additional tricep and some core work. And then we've got this core work here, which is the idea is not to completely murder the midsection, but get it, train it to do particular things, which is to be stable and hold certain positions. And then you have the endurance section, which is getting into things like mobility and the ability to hold positions while moving. So that's the workout. That's Yusuke's handstand and pressing workout that we've built as a group. We will take a look at some of these other ones, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I'd like to get through all of these within the next couple of weeks. But if you guys enjoy this, make sure that you left a thumbs up on it. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel because you know you'll get to see stuff like this on the regular, and also our other real anime training workouts. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments once this thing is over, and I'll get to it as quickly as I can. Thank you guys very much for watching this workout building session and helping me build it. It was a lot of fun. I enjoy these because sometimes I don't really think about the process that I go through to make a workout, and I'm talking to you the whole time that I'm doing it, so I'm verbalizing things that are going through my head, which is kind of weird, but also cool. Um, Thank you guys very much, and until next time, guys, I'm the anime trainer. Good luck, and train hard.